Hello everybody, I've been meaning to make these videos for you. Every time I got to it, I got distracted, been busy with a lot of things. I think you know, but you know I love you, and I've been wanting to do this, and so here we go. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the devotion that we had from our Bible reading schedule. It's Luke chapter 16. Verses 1 through 9 tells a story, relays a story that Jesus told about a person who was a bad manager of a business. He didn't do a good job. He was going to get fired. In the process of getting fired, though, he went and took care of his future. He couldn't see himself begging for money. He couldn't see himself going into manual labor. He's too old for that. And so what he does is he has people who owe his master money, tells them to write a smaller amount. Okay. You may say that looks a little bit shady, and that's kind of the character that is being shown here. But the owner at the end commends him. He praises him for this. And you say, well, how can that be? I'm not going to explain whether what he did was in his power or not in his power. It may or may not have been. That's not the point. But I will address it by getting to the point that Jesus was drawing out. The owner was commending him not for the method or for anything else, but for the wisdom, the priority that he had. Jesus himself gives us the conclusion. I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of unrighteous wealth, so that when it fails, they may receive you into eternal dwellings. Make friends for yourself by means of unrighteous. It doesn't have a right or wrong value as such. How are you going to use temporary means? What will you use it for? And Jesus says, use it for making friends, that they may receive you into eternal dwellings. All right. So what is Jesus' point? What is the boss commending? Tim Keller brings out the point this way, that Jesus is saying valuing, get this is level 1, relationships is the issue here. The fact that this incompetent steward, this manager, valued relationships, it showed that he was being wise. And you know, it's true. It's true, isn't it? I mean, if you have a relationship, your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad, your brother or sister, what price tag would you put on that? What price tag? If somebody were to give you X amount of money, would you disown your mom? Would you disown your dad? There's a wonderful passage in the Bible that says, if you were to give the wealth of your house for love, it would be utterly despised. In other words, love relationship is priceless. It's priceless. But it's not just any love relationship here, and this is level number 2. We're going to 3 levels. Level number 2. Level number 2 is not temporary relationships, but eternal relationships. Notice it says eternal dwellings, not temporary dwellings, but eternal. That means people with whom you can and you will spend eternity. What does that mean? It means you and me in the body of Jesus, in the church. Our relationships are forever. That's why I have you turn around sometimes and look at each other and say, hey, it's best to get along with the person that you're looking at. It's good for you because we are stuck together forever. And that is so true. Value those relationships, that love that we have together in the church. And especially if that's your physical, blood-related, father, mother, brother, sister, son or daughter. Oh, then really treasure those relationships. And level number 3, and this is actually the foundational level of them all. Value your relationship with the one that gives meaning to all the other relationships, that makes eternal relationships eternal. And that is, of course, the eternal relationship we have with Jesus. Our relationship with Jesus allows us to be assured of our relationship with the people that we love and that we will carry on those relationships forever. So, the question becomes here, in the questions that we sent out to you, one of the questions was, what am I doing to use these temporary resources that are not ours anyway for eternal priorities, for eternal things? How are we using these temporary things? Look, things that you say you own, like your money, your clothes, your time, those things are all entrusted to you. We are God's stewards, right? If you didn't get it yet, that's what it is. We are God's stewards. We're handling God's stuff anyway. These are all temporary things, but they're gifts from God. How are we using them for eternal things? In other words, eternal relationship. There's no better place to invest our time, money, resources than to invest them in our relationship with Jesus. What are you doing to invest in a relationship with Jesus? How are you building in that relationship? When you've been given all this extra time right now, how are you falling more deeply in love with Jesus? And second, how are you building into relationships with your brothers and sisters? Even with this obstacle of not being able to get together, how are we doing it? Are we valuing relationship as we should over material things? I was just speaking to a friend. His name is William, and he's the one in charge of the Valley Food Bank, where we get all of the groceries that we pass out once a month. And hopefully we'll be able to do it this week, by the way. And I was speaking with him, and usually we chat over things, and he's such an encouragement to me whenever I speak with him. And just the tone of his voice encourages me, lightens my mood. And I asked him about how church was going for him, and he said, well, we're doing the YouTube thing like everybody else, and it's good, it's good. But for me, church is really all about fellowship, about getting together, so I can't wait for this to be over. Did you catch that? There's a guy who's got his priorities straight. That was a very wise statement. And I pray that your life would be filled with wise statements, wise choices, wise investments. God bless you. Have a great evening or a great day whenever you happen to catch this. Bye-bye. See you later. Not bye-bye. See you later.